I've spoken to people about the idea of living in a pro-natalist country where the
Yeah.
idea of having kids and being married is kind of
Hmm.
is put into the fabric. Like I think people can argue
Right.
it's a religious sort of ideal, or people can argue it's
Hmm.
just part of the government wanting to have more people to sustain itself and grow and all of these things.
Yeah.
And because when I was preparing for this interview, when I look at the topic and why more people seem to be choosing this path, it's funny because I
Mhm.
think, and I'd love to hear your opinion on this, is that I see it similarly to how I look at why more people are coming out as gay in the Western world than ever
Mhm.
before. And I think it's because now they have the option to, whereas before there were
Yes.
so many societal disincentives to do so. So in the past, women
Right.
definitely didn't have the option to be single by choice. You were a social
Hmm.
pariah, a trollop, a tramp, a hussy, all of these things, and
Yes.
now the options to women choosing to be single can be quite varied and fulfilling. Like the life around being
Yes.
single is very different. So I imagine women are by and large leading the charge on this sort of marital revolution. What do you think of that assessment?
Yes, in general, I think they are. Although, when you look at the single at heart, and let me take a minute to say what that is, but when you look at them, men are at least as likely to be single at heart. So, single at heart are people, and I'm one of them, who love being single and want to stay single. Single life is our best life, our most joyful, fulfilling, and meaningful life. We are happy and flourishing because we're single, not in spite of it. And and what you said about it being more doable to be single, for women especially, that's certainly true. So, for example, as women have access over the decades to more kinds of jobs, more better paying jobs, they can support themselves and maybe even some kids. So they're not
Right,
economically tethered to a husband for life support, economic life support. They can support themselves. And
right.
um,
Well, I
because,
like.
yeah,
So sorry, I was going to say
no, go
I
ahead.
like your perspective that you're so adamant that single life is our best life, and that's one of the reasons that I was
Yes,
so curious to talk to you, because
right,
I try to stay in the middle on things as far as I try to understand these
hmm,
sort of these polar opposite
yeah,
views, and so
right,
because I've seen friends be single, friends be married
uh-huh,
miserably, married happily,
right,
and all of these things. And I've always said, like, to be in a marriage with someone that you're flourishing within, and there's an open
hmm,
communication and it's a good
hmm,
partnership. Like, to
right,
me, that sounds like the ideal. Whereas being in a relationship that is toxic, or
right,
a bit of an anchor to you, like
right,
I can't think of anything worse. But I think there's
right,
also what the topic you're talking about, well, being single, is that, like, you can really flourish in a
yes,
completely different way, even if it's with
yes,
having um, short-term partners and lovers and a
yes,
plurality of friends and all of these
yes,
things.